We begin 9 News at 5 with the latest on the Kelsey-Berreth case. For the second straight day, the key witness talked about what happened before and after Kelsey's murder. Today's testimony got off to a late start, but once it did, jurors heard that witness talk about how she helped clean up the crime scene.
Yeah, she was also explaining how she was asked to commit the crime and also why she waited to go to police after it happened. Another dramatic day in that courtroom, and 9 News reporter Jennifer Meckles continues her coverage from the Teller County Courthouse. Jennifer?
Hi guys. Well, after very emotional testimony from Krystal Lee yesterday, today was a little more clinical. We talked a lot about evidence this morning with Krystal Lee. She walked the jury through photos and videos of various crime scenes. So for example, she pointed out with some pictures on a projector on the wall where she found blood inside Kelsey's home and how she cleaned it up. We saw in those pictures white marks from the cleaning products that she says she used on Kelsey's furniture. We watched body camera video of Krystal showing law enforcement around Patrick Frazee's property. This is in December, after he's about the time he's been arrested. They were showing her, and she was showing them where he allegedly burned Kelsey's body. That was December 21st, 2018, whenever that body camera video was taken. When prosecutors asked Krystal why she finally decided to tell the truth, Krystal answered in court today, "I couldn't have lived with what I knew, and Kelsey's family deserves to know what happened." Well, once the prosecution finished with Krystal, then the defense got an opportunity to cross-examine her, and they really flipped the switch using some of her own words back against her. The defense drilled into Krystal. If you felt Kelsey's family really deserved to know what happened, why didn't you say anything? They wanted to know why she never contacted law enforcement whenever she learned of Patrick Frazee's plans, why she didn't contact them afterwards. They wanted to know why she never told anybody, not even Kelsey, whenever they had an opportunity to meet face to face. They drilled her about why she lied to law enforcement when they first contacted her, and they spent a lot of time drilling Krystal Lee about that plea agreement that she took, agreeing to cooperate with investigators with a plea deal that means she could spend no time in jail. She could spend as much as 3 years, but she could also spend no time and just have probation. The last thing I want to talk about today is something that happened in the courtroom that speaks to the restrictive nature of this trial. There are no cameras allowed in the courtroom. There's no live tweeting or any live reporting allowed in the courtroom. We even couldn't have a sketch artist in the courtroom per the judge's orders, right? Well, a member of the public today who was in there taking notes, so he's not credited media, he's just somebody who, by his rights, is able to come in and watch, was sketching notes in a notebook and was sketching his own little doodles of somebody in the courtroom. And the deputies seized his notepad and ripped out all the pages. He'd had doodles from all over this and took all of them out. The judge reviewed those doodles and said, it doesn't matter if it's a sketch artist, if it's somebody in the public, if you're just doodling, there will be no pictures of anybody in this courtroom. And he's going to keep those notes and those doodles for that gentleman in the courtroom until the trial is over. So they are not messing around. This thing is tightly restricted. There will be no visuals coming out of that courtroom during this trial, guys.
Well, it's so hard to get that picture of what's going on inside, but one can only imagine with all of this powerful testimony how the jury is taking all this in with more still to come. Jennifer, we look forward to more of your reporting on this incredible case. Thanks.